Hey everyone, welcome to month 2, believe it or not, month 2 on YouTube. This month, I'm going to take a little bit of a different track to explain my numbers, and I'm going to talk about the Bethany Frankel phenomena that's going on in TikTok. So join me. But wait, I didn't even introduce myself. My name's Dee Cardinal or Danielle, and I am from the US and I've moved to Portugal about 2 years ago. I go on all kinds of adventures and I take you along with me. I go through Portugal and talk about my life and my adventures as an immigrant and expat, as well as anything else that's going on in my life. Please subscribe. Otherwise, let's get to it. I'm going to use Bethany Frankel as an example of why, if you're in your 40s and your 50s, you should start a YouTube channel. And I know maybe the lines don't connect or you don't think they connect, but they really, really do. All right, so if you don't know who Bethany Frankel is, where have you been? No, I'm just kidding. If you don't know who Bethany Frankel is, she was one of the original housewives of New York City. And what was iconic about her is that she wasn't at the time a housewife. So other people had a chip on their shoulder about her because she wasn't married at the time. But anyways, she's very outgoing, very outspoken, and it kind of blew up on her for a lot of the series. She became the skinny girl Margarita. She was always naturally skinny. She started this mocktail and cocktail group company, and then she got married. It was a horrible divorce. I guess it took a really long time. Anyways, I'm on TikTok, she's on TikTok, and what I love about her TikTok and what I think everybody else also loves about her on TikTok is her authenticity. And I think that there are two groups of people who are split for her. Either there are people who kind of know her and are rewatching the Housewives to kind of get an idea of who she was before and are much younger and are really taking to heart her comments and her suggestions because she says things in a way that she's this old sage, but she's saying it in a very updated way. Right? So they are really taking this experience and this knowledge and just like eating it up. She is doing a great job at that. On the other side are people like me who remember her and have seen her through all of her stages and are roughly around the same age as her. And when she tells us things about how not to undervalue yourself, how to, take more chances, more risks, you're like, yeah, I remember you. I remember how this looked, and she'll say like, oh gosh, look at me when I was first married and I first had Bryn and I first had all of this situation. And you feel like you grew up with her and you learned with her, but also you had your own experiences, so it's very reminiscent. So this is why I think people of our age, 40s and 50s and 60s, and even older, should be on YouTube. YouTube has this youth that has grown up on YouTube, right? So the stars were made on YouTube, but their audience also grew up with them. We have knowledge that this group might not have. We have things to share that that group might not have. And so it's really important if you think of like the Bethany Frankel, like she could have been just somebody who just made herself redundant. She has all the money in the world that she needs. She has all of the products. She's always in the news about horrible, salacious, divorce issues. She could have hid and just been like, you know what? I'm just going to chill. Instead, she went to TikTok and she was like, this is how you value yourself. This is how you take care of yourself. This is what you should do when you are dating to get a high value man. You need to be your own woman to get a man of a high value. Like she's just shooting out truth bombs and education that maybe a generation doesn't have. You have that knowledge too. You may just say to yourself like, well, doesn't everybody know that? No, you would be shocked at what people don't know. So I think everybody, right, should start a YouTube channel. I think in the next decade, and I've heard Gary Vee say this, so maybe I stole it from Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk, but I do believe that the next decade or 2 decades is going to be people who are going to gather around a community of other people doing nothing. And I know that sounds very weird, but how many of us watch the videos that are part of, a cafe making drinks? How many of us watch someone just casually gardening with like some beautiful music in the background? How many of us watch people color or illustrate and paint and have no painting skills, nor would we ever even think about picking up a paintbrush? Right? How many of us listen to ASMR videos? All of these things are just like general, normal, everyday things that people do. Okay, so how does that fit in with your knowledge? Well, what you don't know is the knowledge that you are portraying to a video by washing your dishes in a certain way, by placing them in the dishwasher in a certain format. Somebody is learning from you. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, why did I not do that? Why have I never done that? I remember a video of someone who had the same exact dishwasher as I did. And all of a sudden she took the door down and she pulled out this little tray and started putting her silverware on. I was like, oh my God, do I have one of those? And sure enough, I did have one of those. And from then on, I passed that knowledge along. So anytime somebody was at my house when I was putting the dishes away, they were like, oh my God, what is that? That's a silverware tray? Maybe I have one of those. And then I would get a text, I do have one of those, right? This is a very simple example. Bethany Frankel has made it to the TikTok world. And the other thing that she's doing, which I absolutely love, which I also wish that everybody would do, and I hope to emulate that in my YouTube journey, she's just chill. Right? There has been so many things that have happened to her that she can put into perspective that losing her blue check on TikTok didn't bother her. She got shunned at Chanel because I don't know why. Maybe because they didn't think that they didn't recognize her. They thought that she was wearing inappropriate clothes, whatever, but she did get shunned. What did she do? She's like, you know what? I love Chanel. I'm going to make some videos about them. She lost her certification or her, blue check mark, which is where you make the money on TikTok, right after that. And she was like, I think that it has to do with the connection with Chanel. I mean, like, you just never know. And she was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's going to come and it's going to go no matter what happens. It's my reaction as to the only thing that I can control. And that alone, seeing that on a regular basis from someone, can actually help you create a habit as well. I know that slow growth on YouTube is what I want to do. And one of the things that happened this month, which was really crazy, is that someone contacted me. I know this person and I was like, hey, do you want to promote each other? Do you want to, watch each other's videos, that kind of thing? They proceeded to put me on some sort of Discord channel where all of a sudden I got a whole bunch of likes, and within that week, all of them left again. Now, I don't know for sure if the bot farm that I was added to had, 10 likes, and then all of a sudden I lost 10 likes. If those were all the 10 likes from the bot farm, I do not know. But what I do know is that's not how I want to grow. I want to grow with authentic commenting, authentic liking, authenticity. So that's first thing that I learned this month that I know that I don't want to do. We'll go through my numbers. Again, I'm not monetized, so don't worry. I think I have at the time of this 30 days, I have 55 followers, so I'm nowhere near. But I've learned so much and my creativity has really skyrocketed. Number one, I actually posted a video every single week for 12 weeks. I am super excited about that because I honestly didn't know if I would be able to do it. And truth be told, some of them are only 5 minutes, some of them are 8 minutes, some of them took me for so long. And then there's one that I made this epic cat fight and then forgot to put it in the actual video. This month too, I have learned far more about editing, tons about music selection, and just getting an idea. You can really go down that rabbit hole. A really good idea of what kind of music could change the tone, which is great. I started and finished and developed and launched a mini course in 12 weeks. And so this 2 months, the 2-month mark, I launched that free mini course. Link in the description. It's a mini course about moving abroad. Doesn't have to be moving to Portugal, just moving abroad in general. I started on Substack, and I have a newsletter. It had like roughly 300 people. I brought them over to Substack. So again, link in the bio if you want to start getting my Substack. I have been writing twice a week for Substack. It's a mixture of my life in Portugal, what happened, how I got here, every day, how my life has changed, my mindset has changed, and the daily pros and cons, quirks, that kind of thing. So join me if you'd want. It's the Dee Cardinal Living Abroad diary. It's just kind of my life in written form and in podcast form. So that was the other thing. I started a mini podcast. The podcast is for paid community members. It's part of my community membership, but the first couple of ones are free, so you can get an idea of me. And I have to say that my YouTube persona, very different than my podcast persona. Although today, my video persona is almost equal matching my podcast persona in my real life. So I also am getting more comfortable with talking in front of the camera and just kind of like knowing what I want to say when I want to say it. I guess, is that what I mean? Yeah. So let's look at the numbers. Not a lot, like consistent growth. I'm very, very happy with it. But let's look at them because there are some like kind of dips and movements. First off is that I now have 55. Well, I had 55 subscribers, and that's exciting. It's almost one a day, which is, again, slow growth. I'm looking for slow growth, right? 32% more views, which means that my subscribers are seeing them as well as YouTube is putting it in search. I got 22 extra subscribers, which is also a great thing. My watch time is up, great thing. The one thing is that my average view duration went down 19 seconds. 19 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but when you realize that it takes usually people about 15 to 20 seconds when they first see the video to decide whether or not they're going to continue, that actually is a big deal. Let's go on and see some more of the stats. Here I thought was really funny. I take criticism quite well, and I would be the first one to tell you. Like, if you were like, well, your videos are kind of like shoddy. Yeah, I know. I'm learning. Like, I'm learning. I agree with you. But somebody actually disliked my video, which I would think that somebody would have to violently dislike a video to actually watch it and then click the down button, right? Either you would just click off of it, go to another video, or if it was like so inflammatory that you were like, oh my gosh, I need to write a comment, then you would be like a keyboard warrior. But wow, it takes a lot for somebody to be like, we hate you. Like, we really, really hate you. So if you see on this one, that It's Not Too Late, which was the last month's update, like this one, 155 people looked at it and one person hated it. So that was kind of a bummer. It is funny also that these videos are my highest ranking videos, and I promoted my mini course with these supplemental videos. And I kind of did that for two reasons. Number one, I knew that they would be easier because they would be like this. They would be a talking head instead of B-roll and editing and all of that. And I could do it through Canva really easily. And I could add it to YouTube. It would help this algorithm of every week I would post these videos. Actually, I posted 5 in 1 week, but I was posting regularly then. As well as they were really easy to edit. So when you have this mini course, it's 5 days of newsletters, as well as spreadsheets and resources and worksheets. And then every day also had a supplemental video so that I was talking about my personal experiences. So it was like a win-win situation. I could double count them for that. So you can see that not a lot of people knew about these mini courses. There was maybe about 15 people that joined the first week. And so you can see from the views that there were like 8 to 10 to 12 people that had watched those videos. So those people were probably in the mini course, right? Not necessarily subscribers, but were at least on my newsletter. Also, the comment section took off. I love comment sections. I am so always ready to comment on comment sections. I actually spend an hour a week commenting on other people's stuff. I know it's going to help the algorithm. Maybe, hopefully, what they'll do is they will realize the power of the comments. I may ask a question, but that person that has a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel, or if they get a chance to respond to my comment and they can educate other people that are reading those comments, those other people get an idea of like how approachable they are. I can't even tell you how excited it was that I have comments. So of course I'm going to answer your comments. And like a lot of even YouTubers that are really, really big, they really get a kick out of answering all their comments. So that was great. So what am I going to do for the next 30 days? Well, the next 30 days are a little scary. I'm going to be honest. Next 30 days, I do not have a backup of drafts or videos or anything. But what I've started to realize is that people are coming around and asking the same questions over and over again, not only on YouTube, but also on TikTok. And they're asking, how did you get your visa? Where did you find your apartment? How did you find your apartment? How did you find the apartment when you weren't living in Portugal? How did you decide where to live? Why did you leave Coimbra? FYI, Substack, free podcast, and it tells you why I left Coimbra. Link is down below. You don't even have to subscribe. You can just go to it and listen to the podcast. I am concerned about my month 3 because I don't want them to all be videos that are talking head and presentation style, but I don't have anything in the hopper already. And so often it takes me a little while, maybe not to shoot B-roll or maybe not to come up with the concept, but to actually edit and get all of the information put together. It takes me a while. And so I'm concerned about that. I have a plan. I am still going for 6 in the next 12 weeks. I'm going for 6 videos, but my stretch goal is 12 videos. So 1 a week. And what I hope to do is be able to get an idea of a pretty in-depth one where there's a lot of editing, B-roll, and voiceover, and intermix them between complicated editing videos and talking head videos. I am also thinking about approaching a sponsor. And this is a tricky thing for me because I am a minimal consumer. Like, I consume so little of products that are actual brand names that I am not ever going to be an influencer. But I found one, and I 10 minutes of courage, sent them an email, and poof, they actually said, here's my Google Calendar. I think this is a great idea. If you have this more fleshed out, I'd love to have a meeting with you. What? I don't think this is gonna happen. Like, there may be some things that happen in this next 30 days. It's definitely not going to get totally fleshed out in the next 30 days, but I may have a sponsor soon. And I don't know what that's gonna look like. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do with that. All right, that's it. If you can't tell, I'm far more comfortable on camera in the last 60 days than I was in my first video. So I am really, really happy about that. If you have any questions, any comments, please, 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 I promise you, I will post a reply. Even if it's just a heart, I will heart you back. So let me know if you have any questions or comments, and do me a favor, right? Like, subscribe, hit that bell, do all of the things, and just have a great day, right? Think about starting a YouTube channel. Do it. Do it.